well. As his owner was saying, he's basically a galloping type. He's that sort of third or fourth that day and sets sail for home some way out. I think he's a horse with potential. Now, they slapped a £10 hike on him, and it might be that that's a little bit too high, but he is progressive.
Runners moving now to post. There's a past hero of the Betfair Hurdle, Splash of Jim's, Jamie Bargery rides, and that's Fingal Bay, past winner of this race. It was a dramatic running of the race that year, very tight photograph finish. It was the year when Daryl Jacob was in the wars, rather, and first jockey to Paul Nicholls. Things hadn't been going right. He got beaten a short head, and there were outpouring of emotion afterwards. Extraordinary dramatic affair.
It really was. It was a very narrow. And Fingal Bay in his pomp was a very high class, both hurdler and potentially at one stage chaser. It does appear at the moment like age has caught up with him, though.
David Cleary's been casting his beady eye over these in the paddock, and David, you had one or two observations, particularly about this horse in shot, Impulsive Star.
Yeah, I mean, he's a tremendous looking horse. He's got very much a chaser's physique, and he looks in really good nick. Sutton Manor was another one I really liked as a prospective chaser for the future, but again, he's an interesting runner in a field full of them.
I'd like to mention one horse, there's so many. The horse I thought was, I'd argue, was the best handicapped horse from Ireland, but he's on one run really. But I thought Electric Concord on his run over Christmas has got the beating of the likes of Isle of Hope and Glories and others. The trouble is, next time out he really blotted his copybook with a very poor run and a novice hurdle where he'd pulled up. So it's a question of which one turns up. I think on that form over Christmas he is interestingly treated here.
Lest you're in any doubt that it's extremely difficult to win races at the Cheltenham Festival, particularly if you're a British trainer. Ireland have won 9 so far. Gordon Elliott has won 5 of those. And British trainers have won 6 of the 15 races. Just 6. Yeah. 3 of those have been won by Nicky Henderson. Only 3 other British trainers on the score sheet after 15 races. It is brutally hard, but there are several smaller trainers who are hoping and praying here that they might just get that tiny, tiny little crumb of the Cheltenham pie.
Well, it's the handicaps is where the trainers you're describing, generally speaking, have got their chances, and they can't compete financially with some of the bigger owners.
Down at the start, Stuart Machin.
Thanks, Nick. Yeah, Paul Morrison alongside me, way behind us at the moment. The field has gathered. They've sent them a long way back from the start, Paul, as is usual these days under the new starting procedures. Well, been around for a couple of years now, but steadily they're heading towards us. We're about to get some action.
It's nearly 3¼ miles this, so it's unbelievable. I didn't realise how far they go back, but they're jogging in. They want them to come in a line that the starter can see that all horses have got a level playing field. And as they walk towards us, you can see there on the inside, Impulsive Star, the Whaley Coling colours. The horse I like here is Jury Duty. I think he looked magnificent beforehand. I think it might just be another one for the Gordon Elliott team.
Now, Isle of Hope and Dreams got a little bit warm down at the start, just sweating a little on a rather chilly afternoon. They're almost level with us, so we'll move out the shot, Paul. Here they come. Behind the camera at the moment, flags raised. Robbie Supple is ready for them. Big field coming forward for the Pertemps Final. Sam Whaley-Cohen on the inside. You can hear Sam shouting out, walk, 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 to describe the action as it unfolds over 3 miles. It's Ian Bartlett.
They come forward now. They're off. Racing away just under 3 miles in front of them, with Splash of Ginge, Sutton Manor, up with the leaders Ballymallin and also Mr. Mix in company with those Oberson as they run then to the first flight of hurdles. Clondalkin is up there as well. To be fair, with the orange sleeves on a black jacket, is close. Isle of Hope and Dreams in red towards the back of the field. For Good Measure, Kate de Burley, the Tourad man, also Rocklander towards the back early on. Quickly on towards number 2, which they're all over okay. Blue colours, a Splash of Gingers, the first one to show. Arctic Gold, a darker blue jacket round the outside of him, and Ballymallin in the red and white stripes is along with those. They're followed by Sutton Manor, maroon jacket, Oberson in orange colours against the running rail, little wider out orange sleeves, black jacket of To Be Fair as they head uphill towards number 4. Mr. Mix, he's a dark grey, widest on the course. Jury Duty going right around the inside, and he's being followed through by Rocklander. Theo's Charm with those from L Bandit, blue and yellow jacket. He's Nose Bandit in the centre of the field as they jump over 4 at the top of the hill. Isle of Hope and Dreams continues to be the back marker. Gabry presenting Percy, Almazar and also Kay de Burley They are well back in the field, and For Good Measure is just ahead of those. Golden Dawn is also one of those in the back half, along with previous winner Fingal Bay. Now about to run down the hill then and make their way towards 4. Ballymallin, Noel Feely in company with Splash of Ginge and Jamie Bargrave, the leaders, and Tom Humphries on Arctic Girl, a little wider out from those. Lisa O'Neill, Maroon Jacket, Sutton Manor just in behind them, then Chester Williams on Oberson off to the right in the orange. To be fair, Black and Orange Jacket, Trevor Whelan towards the left, towards the outer of the field. Theo's Charm and Impulsive Star with Sam Whaley-Cohen, nose-banded runner in the centre as they get over the 5th flight of hurdles. Barney Dwan just in behind those from Rocklander and For Good Measure. Clonderkine towards the outside from Fingal Bay, and then Almazar, the green and blue, towards the back. He's right around the outer of the field. Electric Concord in purple and yellow colours behind him. El Bandit's just preceding those runners. A blue and yellow jacket, yellow spots on the sleeves. The Torad Man and Golden Dawn are next, and Gabriel behind those. Presenting Percy still towards the back of the field with Kate de Burleigh, and Isle of Hope and Dreams, a red and black colours, is the last one of the 24 as they come to halfway in the Pertemps final. And here it'll be Arctic Gold who just touches down in front. He flattens the flight, as do many of them, and they run away with a circuit to go. Ballymallin is in second place just from Splash of Ginge, and then comes Impulsive Star, To Be Fair and Oberson. Sutton Manor and Mr. Mix behind these from Jury Judy right against the running rail, the blue and maroon jacket. Barney Dwan in company with this. Fingal Bay is next, and they're followed through by Rocklander and El Bandit and the Torab Man and For Good Measure, and then comes Golden Dawn. Behind these is Presenting Percy, Electric Concord and Gabriel together from Alzamar, and then Kate de Burleigh. And just at the back of the field as they jump over the next remains Isle of Hope and Dreams in the red colours. So heading now on towards the 8th flight of hurdles, 8th of the 12, and it's still Arctic Gold who shows up in front. Splash of Ginge will take it in second with Ballymallin as they get over it now. Alzamar and Error towards the rear of the field. Up towards the 4th last coming up now, number 9. Arctic Gold, best turned out winner, gets over it in front. They're all over it all right. To Be Fair, Sutton Manor, Splash of Ginge, Ballymallin are in 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th. Oberson, and with this Impulsive Star and Barney Dwan and Theo's Charm. They run then towards the top of the hill. Jury Duty just in behind those. This is the 3rd last coming up. Rocklander and the Torad Man, the next couple of runners. At the top of the hill, 3 from the finish, and Arctic Gold just touches down in front to Ballymallin in second place. They've all got over it okay. A long run to the line, only 2 flights of hurdles to jump from here. And up front, Ballymallin is rejoined, Arctic Gold in front. Oberson in the orange, and then the blue, a Splash of Ginge from Sutton Manor. Impulsive Star with those. To Be Fair just ridden along astride of 2 now. Theo's Charm in behind him from Barney Dwan, and they're then followed by Jury Duty, hugging the rail still. The Torad Man. Presenting Percy is on the way through the field. So is For Good Measure as they begin the downhill run towards the 2nd last flight of hurdles. El Bandit's ridden along behind those, and they run then towards the 2nd last as they come towards it. Ballymallin just in front. Jury Judy with the noseband swinging along in behind them. Barney Dwan's come there in the blue and yellow jacket with a chance, and Sutton Manor on the extreme left. Theo's Charm behind those. For Good Measure trying to find a way through on the inside, but they're coming towards the home turn. Barney Dwan has gone on, pursued by Jury Duty with the noseband. Ballymallin behind this. Look to the left, Presenting Percy. Davy Russell producing him from the rear of the field. Heading down towards the 2nd last. Barney Dwan is the one to catch, but Jury Duty and Presenting Percy are the 2 coming to catch him. Still a long run towards the last, and now Presenting Percy and Davy Russell have come from near the last phase to be the leaders at the final flight. Presenting Percy got over it safely. Barney Dwan and Jury Judy 2nd and 3rd. The Torad Man behind those. They've 100 yards to go. Presenting Percy in front, leads by 2 or 3 lengths with Davy Russell, and he's won the Pertemps final. Barney Dwan in 2nd, Jury Duty in 3rd place. The Torad Man is next from Sutton Manor and Electric Concord.
He's done it again. Patrick Kelly has won the Pertemps final for the 2nd consecutive year. Last year it was Maldini, ridden by Davy Russell. This time Presenting Percy, likewise ridden by Davy Russell, who has such a fine Cheltenham Festival record, and this one of the easier festival winners he's ridden. Presenting Percy has made the Pertemps final look relatively straightforward, and he returns at odds of 11-1 to give Ireland a 10th winner of the meeting.
Yeah, if he comes back next year, he might be running in a grade above. He's off 146 today, and he's absolutely bolted up. I mean, he's been given a patient ride. He's made his headway around the outside, but you could tell from 2 out that he was going very, very well. So under a really confident ride, he's taken care of the excellent Barney Dwan in second, who's run a stormer, and he's won with a fair bit in hand.
You mentioned Barney Dwan, a horse who hasn't had much luck, but things did go right for him. The trademark celebration from Davy Russell. We've seen it so many times before. Former Gold Cup winning jockey on Lord Windermere. A man who's got an excellent record here. And that excellent record is down in part, David, to real patience.
Yeah, that was very much the way that he won this race, coming through last. Barney Dwan is absolutely tanked along under Brennan, but he's had to go to the front, perhaps slightly earlier than ideal. Jury Duty has cruised round on the inside. The Tourad man has come there very smoothly as well. It looked a very tight handicap beforehand, but they're pretty well strung out at the finish. And 4 horses who've travelled really well through the race have filled the frame.
Being pushed along to the wide outside, the orange sleeves and cap is, to be fair, it was a bit too much for him today.
Yeah, he's had a great season, but today wasn't one of his days. You mentioned at the start of the programme, or at the start of this review, when we were previewing this race, that the nature has changed with the conditions, and what you get is much less horses who were laid out for the race. This was already won 3 races this season and was second top weight, and so it's not like he's not been showing his hand.
It rewards raw merit in a truer sense now, doesn't it?
Which I quite like. What about you? And I think we've seen a pretty high class handicap performance here. I say he's clearly going in for a fair old hunt. Look how he's coming there. I mean, he's absolutely coming there cantering.
Jury Duty looked at one point as though he was going to give Gordon Elliott a 6th winner of the week. The other sheepskin noseband between horses. His effort just petered out on the run to the last.
Yeah, but he's reversed of the Chepstow fall with Gabriel in no uncertain fashion. He travelled very well throughout, and he's run a really good race. I mean, there's quite wide gaps. This can be a closely run race in the park, but they're spread out at widest intervals. So the winner is by no means fully extended, and with Jury Duty, you talk about, has run very, very well.
The Tourad man has run extremely well. Likewise, Sutton Manor, who David put up beforehand as a horse that could be a really nice chaser next season. But Pat Kelly, it's very difficult, as we were saying beforehand, for the smaller stables to get on the score sheet. He's done it in 2 consecutive years in one of the toughest handicaps with 2 different horses. That takes a bit of doing, doesn't it?
Yes, certainly does. And as Steve just said, he's a horse who's already crept his way right up the handicap. And, well, a lot of talk beforehand about how badly handicapped the Irish horses are. Well, if they were fairly handicapped, just think how many handicaps they'd win this week.
For good measure, who was toward the front of the market, second from the right of picture, the first colours of JP McManus, he had an awful lot to do.
Yeah, he was far enough back, wasn't he? He's done pretty well. Electric Concord's made a bit of headway, you see there in the purple as well. But the winner was given a patient ride, but he certainly for good measure was maybe not ideally placed.
Davy Russell. He came into this week thinking he had bits and pieces of chances, but he wasn't really confident that he was going to ride a stack of winners, but he's ridden this one. I know he fancies Dandridge in the Grand Annual tomorrow.
And Whisper ran pretty well as well, so he could have had 2.
Could easily have done. Let's head down to Lydia, who's with Delighted Winning Connections.
Yes, Philip Reynolds is here, receiving congratulations all round, and much deserved. A win with Presenting Percy, same winner in the same race, Maldini last year. Wow, as an owner, this is a dream, isn't it?
It is an absolute dream. Yeah, I don't know when I get over this. Yeah, it's the same trainer, bought the horse from the same people, the Costellos. It's the same unbelievable jockey in Davy Russell. Same race, and think it's the same result. It's just mind-blowing. It's crazy stuff. It just doesn't happen. It shouldn't happen.
I can see it's kind of only half sunk in.
Yeah, I lived up last year. I said after last year's win I could give up racing. Now I've achieved all I wanted to achieve, but my God, to think that we're going to walk through those gates in a second is just incredible.
Fantastic. And I understand you bought this horse for your wife Anne?
Yes, I did. Yeah, we had a very good record with the Costellos. I bought Maldini from Tom Costello. I went back after the year after I bought Maldini, and I bought this horse from him. And after last year, I said to Pat, I said, I'd like to give my wife the present of this horse. I said, if you can have as much fun for her as you've had for me, it'll be really fantastic. So I'm looking forward to see her leading him in now.
And how about during the race? How did the two of you feel?
Yeah, I mean, he jumped fantastic. He travels unbelievably well. He travelled over unbelievably well. We always thought a bit of better ground he would be a better horse, because he's always ran in softer, even heavier ground than that. And we were hoping that we might pick up a few of those pounds that Phil Smith gave us a couple of weeks back on the fact that we had a bit of better ground, and that's the way it turned out. But he jumped, as you can see, he jumped amazingly well, travelled into the race fantastically well. And you can have no better jockey around this track than Davy Russell's.
Absolutely.
Terrific result.
Absolutely.
Thank you very much.
He didn't look that badly handicapped, did he, in a 24?
No, he didn't have to turn out.
Quite nicely,
I mean, I was quite fed up a couple of weeks back when the weights came out for this. Because I did think that Phil Smith shouldn't be handicapping horses what they might be, as opposed to, they should be handicapped, I think, off their form. People will say now Phil Smith was right, and of course that's what will be said. I still don't believe that to be the case, but look, today's not today about arguing. No. After that performance, he could probably give him another £16.
He probably could.
He probably could.
I'll let you go and walk through those gates one more time.
Thank you.
It's a brave man who quibbles with the handicapper when he's just won one of the most competitive handicaps by 3.5 lengths.
Yeah, I mean, look, he's like a really impressive performance, but that's a lot of rubbish, isn't it, really? Best winner in the world. Can hardly complain the horse was badly handicapped when he'd come and won on the bridle by 4 lengths. He'd had a stone less, he would have finished it before the others had started the final circuit. I mean, that's just utterly ridiculous. Sorry, but it is.
Many an extraordinary word uttered in the afterglow of victory here at Cheltenham.
He will go up quite a lot. I mean, that's the point about handicaps, I'm afraid. Yes, he is. He will go up a considerable amount for this win.
This is a very talented horse who belongs in graded company now. He could be back here next year, who knows, for the Stayers Hurdle if they decide not to go over the larger obstacles. He's very straightforward, he's very genuine, he's ridden by one of the best round here at Cheltenham. He's taken the Pertemps Final, a magnificent training performance by Pat Kelly. Well done presenting Percy.
Well done indeed. A sense of deja vu in the Pertemps, and hopefully a little nod later towards the Kim Muir and Maldini's attempt to win at the festival for a second year in a row under Katie Walsh. That's festival winner number 18 for Davy Russell, continuing his unbelievable record of having had at least one winner every year since he partnered Native Jack to win the cross-country back in 2006. Presenting Percy returned the 11-1 winner of the race. Davy Russell in the saddle for Patrick Kelly. Barney Dwan was, I'd say, gallant in second, 3 3/4 lengths back at 16-1. Jury Dutyfield third at 9-1. The Tourad man ran a big race at 66-1 in fourth, and all 24 ran in the Pertemps.
We'll take the final circuit again of the Pertemps Network Final, and the early pace was cut out by Arctic Gold in the navy colours, who was joined on the front end by Splash of Ginger, who's run a storming race for a long way. Likewise, Ballymalin. All three of those horses from the same stable.
Yeah, not much happened for a long way. David and I were talking in the race, and yeah, the order was stayed for about 1.5 miles, but exactly the same. Didn't notice any particularly serious mistakes, and horses were where their jockeys wanted to be. The winner was